Hello, this is Trish Plotz. Thank you for attending Ohio University's Russ College of Engineering and Technology's open house. I am an advisor, for the engineering program, suite of programs, so I'm here to help moderate today's session. I'm going to just run through the agenda. We're going to be going through the web support tools and introducing our faculty members who will be fielding questions today and talking a bit more about the program. We will also go over a little bit about Ohio University and the Russ College of Engineering college overview, just to give you a better feeling for the school. We will talk a bit about the online student experience and then also go through the Masters in Engineering Management and new certificates that we have to offer, the Masters of Civil Engineering Program overview, and the Masters of Electrical Engineering overview. And we will be going through the questions that you pose along the way. We may answer some while we're within the particular program if it's pertinent, but we will definitely try to get to the questions at the end. First, I'd like to introduce our Masters in Engineering Management Program Director, Dr. Dean Bruckner. Dr. Bruckner, please go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself, if you would.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be talking to you. I came to engineering management through the back door, if you will. My undergrad was at the Coast Guard Academy, and I studied electrical engineering. And I thought that I would be working on electrical engineering designs a good share of my career. In fact, as it turned out, I was an engineering manager, and I did peer engineering only for a year and a half, and I really wasn't educated on what I needed to know in engineering management. And so I feel like I got thrown into the deep end of the pool, and I had to learn to swim. So I had to learn engineering management tasks by attending short courses, learning from people, learning on the job, and this program that Ohio University offers, when I began teaching here, I thought, hey, this is the program that I should have had before I got thrown into the deep end of the pool. And so this is the program that I want to help others to get a straight run into being an engineering manager. And so anyway, I was in the Coast Guard, and then I was responsible for engineering in navigation systems, and then engineering management in electronics. And then when I came to Ohio University, I worked on a couple of different research projects, one including the F-35's navigation systems. And so in 2013, I came over to begin teaching systems engineering and engineering management. I'm glad that...
Thank you, Dr. Bruckner. Thank you for your bio. Next, I wanted to introduce Dr. Ken Walsh, who is our Masters in Civil Engineering Program Director. Dr. Walsh, please go ahead and give us a quick bio.
Will do. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name is Ken Walsh. I'm an associate professor here in the Department of Civil Engineering at Ohio University, and I'm also the coordinator for the online master's program in civil engineering. I've been in this position or in this role for, I think this is my third year now. Just a little background about myself. I'm originally from Florida. I did all my schooling in Tallahassee, Florida, between Florida State University and Florida A&M University. And I joined the faculty here at Ohio University in 2009. So I've been at OU now for, I guess, 10 years now. And my background is in structural engineering. And so I teach undergraduate classes in structural engineering and, of course, graduate courses in structural engineering. And specifically, my research is in seismic protection systems. So I look at developing new energy dissipation systems for protecting buildings and bridges from the effects of earthquakes. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Now let's hear from Dr. Jeffrey Dill, who is our Program Director for the Masters in Electrical Engineering Program.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for attending our webinar today. I've been a faculty member at Ohio University for 31 years. Before that, I worked in the defense industry for 9 years, and I also worked as a co-op student in the automotive industry for a number of years for my undergraduate degree. I got my PhD from the University of Southern California, and I've got over 30 years of experience in design and analysis of tactical military communications and signal processing systems. I've had over $2 million of funded research for the government and various other corporate sponsors, and published over 50 papers. I've been the director of the online Masters of Engineering program for 4 years.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Dill. It's always a proud moment to hear about our esteemed faculty members here at Ohio University. It makes me proud to work here, so thank you. So now we'll head into our main section of the program today and just give you a little bit of an overview of our Ohio University and Russ College of Engineering and Technology. We were established in 1804. Ohio University is the 9th oldest public institution in the United States. We were actually founded before Ohio was a state, so we've been around for quite a long time. We are regionally accredited through the Higher Learning Commission, and Russ College's undergraduate college programs are accredited through the Engineering Accreditation Commission and the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. That's also known as ABET, which is always important to note. Even though graduate programs typically aren't ABET accredited, we make sure that all of our programs meet the quality standards of the profession and appropriately prepare you for the industry. Ohio University is cited for superior academic quality and value by the U.S. News and World Report and Princeton's Review of Best Colleges. And our graduates are leaders in their field, with many of them working for organizations such as Boeing, General Motors, Intel, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, state departments of transportation, Toyota, U.S. Air Force, NASA. We could go on and on and on. There's just a wealth of marquee companies who have our graduates that we're very, very proud of. Now, just a little bit about the online student experience. This is, I'm sure, the reason why you're all tuning in. Most engineers have not done a lot of online learning, so we do like to highlight this section just so you can get a flavor for what it's going to be like for you as a student in the program. Of course, the program's going to offer flexibility, and they are built for working professionals. And I do always mention at this point that in many engineers, I'd say maybe half of our engineers will do just one course at a time, because engineering programs are difficult and they need a lot of devotion and time and effort. So if you feel more comfortable taking one course at a time, you're totally able to do that. You have up to 6 years to complete your studies here at Ohio University. But if you choose to do 2 classes at a time, you can do that as well. You won't need to log in at any time to do your studies. This would be done when you do have portions of time during the day or in the evening, to work on your studies. And we do hope you work throughout the week and not save it all up for the weekend, because that is kind of a program we're hoping to build into your life, so they're using, and talking with your professors throughout the week and your colleagues in your classes. You are connected to a real campus. Ohio University, as we said, was the 9th oldest public university in the United States, and as you can tell from our faculty introductions, all of our faculty members are esteemed faculty members who've been in the industry, worked outside, and also worked in academia as well. but they are on-campus professors who are teaching, in not only the undergrad and graduate, but also the PhD programs, so you're getting a wealth of information from your faculty members, and we're very proud of that. Also, the quality coursework, and they are, as I said, taught by our faculty who also teach in our on-campus professional programs. As I mentioned, there's no set time for classes. There is a login and review course material when it's convenient for you. Many of the assignments you'll be doing are due towards the end of the week, and everything is done virtually. If you have midterms or finals, there is a proctoring service we use, so you won't need to show up at a proctoring center or on campus. So as I mentioned earlier, there are 15-week-long courses. Many students take one course at a time until you find like a rhythm with it. Sometimes people get into the first and second semester and decide to take more than one class at a time. That is up to you, and that is speaking to the flexibility of the program. Also, the last and also a very important piece is that you aren't alone. When you're an online student, we have you connected with a student support specialist. After I have spoken with you and helped you with your application as your admissions advisor, I definitely do the handoff to our student support specialist and introduce you to them through a welcome call where you will talk with your student support specialist and get to know them, and they will assist you with all functions dealing with the university, including registration, orientation. If anything comes up where you're having trouble, that person is your go-to or liaison to the university so that you have a seamless student experience, because we know you can't show up to campus and visit our offices face-to-face. So you are supported, and of course you can always circle back and reach out to me if needed. So just again, we support our online students with your enrollment advisor, student support specialist, and of course your program director and faculty. In most cases, the program director is your advisor in the program, and we do have a very close relationship with our student services support person and our faculty, just to make sure all of our students are doing well and keeping things on the track. We're very committed to your success in the program. All right, the Online Graduate Russ College for Engineering and Technology Masters and Certificates. And now we will head into just a bit about our general admission requirements. And of course, your advisor is going to go over this in greater detail with you, but just highlights here of what's required are a bachelor's degree from an accredited university, and the target is a 3.0 or higher. However, in many cases, work experience, military experience is highly valued, and it should not deter you from talking with an advisor if your GPA was not a 3.0. We would, of course, need your official transcripts from all colleges and universities attended, your updated and current resume, and we do have an application essay and a statement of purpose, and this is simply what you think it is. It's telling us a little bit about your educational work background, what you're hoping to achieve with the program, and why you think our program is a good fit for you. With the engineering programs, we have 2 letters of recommendation that we do request. And that can come from a current or past work supervisor, a colleague engineer, someone who's in the industry. If you're a recent graduate, we can take an academic reference, but in many cases our master's students have been out and working for a while, so professional references are perfectly suitable. And then there's a $50 application fee. And as I mentioned before, this is something as an advisor we'll go over with you in greater detail, just so you know the nuances of each program that you're applying to.
Okay. This is Dean Bruckner. Should I take over here then?
Sure, go right ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so this is Dean Bruckner. I'm the head of the Master of Engineering Management program, and so what I'd like to do is, before I talk about the MEM, I'll just show this. This is data that we pulled not too long ago, and this is the reported address of the students in the continental 40 states. And so you can see our presence is about half of our students are from Ohio, and the others are spread around. In the MEM program, we have a slightly over the half point of states, so we have 26 or so states with students in them and several foreign countries. We really do try to make it possible for people, no matter where they are, to take these. So we've had students from overseas, from the U.S., Asia, Africa, occasionally in Europe, and so and certainly in Central and South America, we've had a couple too. So it's we try to make it as welcoming as possible. And our asynchronous structure of our courses, in other words, there are very few events that are live. Mostly are office hours, or in some cases special activities. Most of them you can do on your own time. So this spread really works well, and so we've had students from Alaska and Hawaii as well. Okay, so for the engineering managers, we have the largest spread of backgrounds of the online programs that the Russ College offers. And so if you're considering an engineering management degree, you may be asking, well, what will my graduation self look like, professionally speaking? And so this is a diagram that kind of represents how our program looks at what we want to enable you to develop into. And so we have characteristics and skills, and some are kind of a cross between them. And so these are the areas that our programs are in the engineering management program, designed to boost and designed to help you as a student develop. So if one of the things that for an engineering management, it's like a systems engineer, it's inherently cross-discipline. So if you're an engineering manager, seldom will you be solely in one engineering discipline or specialty. And so learning how to navigate on the seams between different parts of the organization is one of the necessary skills to being an engineering manager. Another concept that we use is that the engineering manager is a bridge or an interface between top management of a company and technical operations and personnel. And so these two groups, and of course in real life there may be more than two, but for the sake of discussion here, the two groups, the top management, they think and speak mostly in terms of resources gained or saved, and the technical operations or technical engineering people tend to think in terms of how good is your solution? Is it elegant? Is it efficient? These technical measures, and a lot of engineers don't really understand how to bridge that gap. And so we try to help the engineering manager understand that crucial link. You're the person who explains top management to technical people, and you're the person who explains to technical people what top management is, well, and vice versa. And so most of our candidates for admission and our students began as engineers, and then they decided that they wanted to be, they wanted their effect to be broader, and they wanted to branch out into management and leadership. And so this is a program that we like to say it's by engineers for engineers. And so most of the people that we admit are engineers. They have engineering bachelors, but we do have several routes into the program, and so if you have a science degree, say chemistry or physics, that basically counts with the same weight as an engineering degree. A second category that we look at is if you have a technology degree or a business degree. And then the third category is kind of a catch-all. If you meet, basically if you have a degree other than this, but you have additional experience perhaps in the military or an associate's degree in a technical area, we'll see. And in some cases, I've looked at all of those things, and I can document that the education that the person has received is approximately equivalent to a bachelor's in a technical specialty, and so we can waive certain requirements like that. And so we really want to, you know, if the person is willing to work, and if the person has a background that, when looked at as a whole, can support their success in here, we like to work with you to make that happen. Okay, so the Master of Engineering Management, what is it? Well, this program, it was started about 10 years ago at Ohio University. For the 10 years prior to that, we had a specialty in industrial and systems engineering. We had a master's degree that focused on management, and actually we had live microwave links to regional campuses. And so we had the main classroom here in Athens, Ohio, and we would beam the signals to and from these sites. About 10 years ago, we decided to go into a full online degree, and so that's where this degree was born. And so it's 10 courses, and those total 34 credits. So 4 of the classes are 4 semester credits long, and the rest are 3 semester credits long. And so that's a kind of a typical load for a master's degree. So taking 2 courses per semester, I would say about 2/3 of our students take 2 courses a semester, and 1/3 take 1 course a semester. Some people alternate. They do 2 one semester and then either take a semester off or do 1. It's very flexible. And so as long as you can sequence the courses and make them work, there are multiple paths to a degree typically. So if you take 2 courses per semester, you can finish in 5 semesters, which at 3 semesters a year is about 20 months. And like graduate programs everywhere, maintaining a 3.0 or better GPA is a requirement. If you have a bad semester and you go below 3.0, then we still work with you, but you're going to have to get that average back up. Okay, so our program, what is it? If you can envision a pyramid, we have 4 foundations courses, 3 core courses, 2 elective courses, and 1 capstone course. And so the 4 foundations courses are offered every semester. And so foundations, it's kind of what is engineering management. It's the breadth course. And then statistics, engineering, writing are builder courses, and information systems engineering is our breadth course for that area. And then 3 core courses, Principles of Six Sigma, Project Management, and Applied Accounting and Finance for Engineering Management. So this particular degree was put together by people very experienced in manufacturing, and so this degree has kind of a manufacturing flavor to it. The project management we are teaching is synchronized with the project management body of knowledge, and so this course qualifies as the 35 credit hour minimum instruction required by the project management professional credential. And so if you take this course, this will qualify as that. We don't give the exam, the PMP exam, but we certainly will give you the tools to get a great running start on that. So accounting and finance, that's in order to speak in terms of resources and understand that, it's a crucial thing. And so 2 elective courses. We currently have 6 electives that students choose from. And so the electives are listed there: quality systems, 2 information systems oriented courses, engineering law, lean thinking methods, that's our lean course, and engineering leadership. The person who developed the engineering leadership course was a nuclear power submarine officer, and now he teaches mechanical engineering. It's one of our best courses, I think. And finally, the capstone course, it's a project that the student selects, and typically at the student's workplace. So the student will negotiate a project with his or her supervisor, and then the instructor of this course serves kind of as the project management office, coordinating the deliverables, which are chapters of a report, and serving as a kind of a coach or an advisor. And then as the student completes the project, the report is fleshed out, and then you're done. And so it's a really solid program, I think. And again, like I said, this is the program I wished I had before I was put into the engineering management world. Okay, and the last slide that I'll present is our online graduate certificates. After we created the degree, the opportunity to establish smaller chunks of topics came to us. And so we created 3, what we call them, specialized stackable graduate certificates. And what that means is specialized, it's oriented toward a particular professional goal, although it is fully credit. You know, there's no division between, let's say, continuing ed and straight up master's credits here. They're all one. And so the three certificates that we have approved and running are engineering management, engineering leadership, and certified Lean Six Sigma. And hopefully by the end of this semester, we'll have the engineering analytics certificate approved as well. So a person can enroll in one or more of these certificates. They complete them and then have them applied completely to the MEM degree, or a person can enroll in a degree or in the degree program and earn these certificates along the way. And so within the 10 degree envelope of the MEM master's degree, a student will earn 2 of these certificates just by picking the electives that relate to them. And if the student takes an 11th course, a 3rd certificate can be earned, and a 12th course, engineering analytics, or the fourth certificate can be earned. So these are this is a great way to kind of visualize how to build if a person doesn't want to commit to a full degree. And currently, our degree is eligible for federal funding, and we're applying to have our standalone certificates be eligible for federal tuition assistance aid as well. So engineering management, it's what I say is you learn the engineering management basics, and then project management is how engineering managers get work done, and engineering law is how engineering managers keep from things being done to them. For engineering leadership, it's getting beyond just the team and the work group. How do you do that? Well, you have a process of personal evaluation and growth in our engineering leadership course. Then you concentrate on communicating and also in thinking and speaking in terms of resources. And those 2 skills will extend the effectiveness of an engineering leader. Lean Six Sigma, this is one of the core expectations of engineers, particularly in manufacturing, is how can you use data to make better decisions, to reduce defects, to remove waste, and this gives you the tools to do that. And finally, the engineering analytics. We're teaching all of these courses, we just haven't yet got the final approval for this, but turning data into information. So this is where you'll learn what big data is, you'll learn some techniques of data mining, and using databases and the data they contain to get new views on your organization and what it can do. So we're glad that you're interested, and we hope that this will be helpful.
Great, thank you, Dr. Bruckner. I did want to I had two specific questions I know that all engineering management students are kind of hedging on when I speak with them on the phone, and one is what is the advantage of a Master's in Engineering Management program versus an MBA program, and who better for you to talk to that question?
Well, I mean, MBA degrees are certainly valuable, but one of the things that the engineering management degree provides that the MBA does not is an understanding of both technology and the technological workforce. Engineers are not the same as the generic workers. They have unique capabilities and characteristics, and an engineering manager will understand how, kind of the engineer's view of the world, and will be able to motivate, will be able to explain, to work with the technology workforce in a way that an MBA will not. And since our engineering managers typically start as an engineer, they have a credibility, kind of a ground level credibility that the MBA doesn't. The MBA, there's more business topics involved in that. One of the things we don't get into due to lack of space or lack of room in our MEM program is marketing. Another one would be entrepreneurship. I mean, there are some MEMs or MSEMs that do include those areas, but as I mentioned, our degree kind of has a flavor of manufacturing, but we do have quite a few other emphases, including information systems and leadership. And so I think if you're going to be supervising technical work or technical workforce, like I said, this is the degree I wish I had had. I haven't wished that I had an MBA in place of this. So that's my experience.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I wanted to encourage all the participants in entering your questions. If you have questions that are bubbling up, please go ahead and put them in right now so that we can answer them as we go through. The other quick question I wanted to ask about is the workload for MEM. Like, is it a heavy reading and writing, and will there be midterms and finals?
Okay, well, the kind of the rule of thumb for college work is that for every hour in class, you spend 2 hours, studying and preparing. We really don't have contact hours here, but if we translated that for a 3-credit-hour course, you'd need to spend 9 hours total. So probably, like for a 3-hour course, I would say our students spend maybe 4 to 8 hours a week on average. For a 4-hour course, maybe 5 to 10. And so it's the classes vary. Some have quite a bit of reading. Others are more technical, like our statistics. It's pretty much a vanilla statistics course, vanilla in the sense of the topic list is very similar to most of the statistics courses that you'd see. But, we find that our students can carry 1 to 2 courses, and if they find that 2 are too much, then they tend to drop back to 1. And sometimes they'll need to take a semester off, and we certainly have plenty of flexibility for that. So I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, thank you. And it kind of relates to another question we had earlier, and how long does it take to complete the degree? And it's really up to the individual. You have 6 years to complete your studies, but most people will round out in around 3 years if you're taking 1 class at a time for MEM, and for Masters in Civil Engineering, electrical is a 2 to 4 year program, depending on if you're taking 1 or 2 classes at a time. But thank you, Dr. Bruckner, for walking us through and giving us the highlights and some more details about Masters in Engineering Management. And I always want to remind students to reach out to your enrollment advisor for additional questions that may not have been answered during our webinar. So let's move on to the Masters in Civil Engineering and Dr. Jeffrey Dill, and if you can go ahead and walk us through the program.
Hi, we're doing the MSCE. This is Ken Walsh, the program coordinator. We're doing an overview of MSCE. That's okay.
Thank you.
That's quite all right. Yeah, so thank you very much. I appreciate that again. This is Ken Walsh. I am the program coordinator for the Masters of Science in Civil Engineering online program. And I want to do a brief overview of our program. The total amount of coursework for the program is 11 courses, and that's broken down into 6 courses in one of our 4 concentration areas, and then 5 core courses or 5 common courses. The common courses include courses like statistics, management, we have a writing course, a seminar, and then a construction planning and scheduling, which is a course that we feel is important for all graduates of a Master's in Civil Engineering program. So I mentioned 6 concentration courses. Our 6 concentrations are environmental engineering, transportation engineering, structural engineering, and construction engineering and management. However, we do have flexibility in the program in the sense that we allow up to 2 substitutions for courses outside of your concentration. So if there are courses in another area that you are interested in or thought that would benefit you in your career, whatever your professional goals were, then by policy you're able to take those courses and substitute 2 of the courses in your concentration area. And in fact, unofficially, we'll even allow more than that, because one of our primary goals is to make sure that our graduates are prepared to do whatever they need to do when they go back and into their careers, and we want to make sure that the program is fitting their career goals and their professional goals. So we've even had students, with just one example, I think it was last year, we had a student who owned his own business and was interested, because he owned his own business, was interested more in the business side, and so he requested whether if he could take a course outside of engineering. Actually took a finance course, and we approved that because, again, it was he emphasized that it was important for him, and so that was important to us. So there's a flexibility in the program to do things like that. The requirements for our program are, general requirements are a bachelor's in science from a ABET accredited undergraduate institution, and we require a minimum GPA of 3.0. We do not require a GRE as part of the entrance materials for the program, the application materials. But I do want to emphasize that these are sort of the written in stone minimum requirements, but we are also flexible in terms of these requirements. So we've had cases where we've had applicants whose GPA was not a 3.0, was lower than a 3.0, and we've been able to look at some other qualifications from that applicant and still have them, allow them to be admitted to the program. So we are a flexible, we offer a sort of flexible curriculum and also have flexibility in terms of the admissions requirements to the program. So that was a brief overview, but basically that's sort of the stuff that I wanted to cover about our program.
Great, thank you so much. And I think that flexibility really is important to a lot of our students in the program, and being able to do the substitutions in a separate interest area. So that's very much appreciated by our students. I do have a few questions for you, and one is how frequently, I know it may vary by instructor, but how frequently do instructors get to talk with their students? I know in some cases there are virtual office hours where instructors will find time to talk in the evening or on weekends with students. What is your experience with that?
Yeah, that's right. We encourage, obviously, our instructors to stay in close contact with students. We recognize that students are often working, and so it's difficult for them to work on their assignments during what we would consider, normal business hours. And often their questions come up in the evenings or on weekends. And so you're right. It is the way that the instructors keep contact is up to the instructor. But a lot of our instructors do virtual office hours in the evening and virtual office hours on the weekend. And those that don't basically are tuned in to their phones all the time and handling emails and responding quickly to student questions. So definitely we emphasize, and our instructors emphasize, being responsive to student questions and student concerns.
Okay, very good. I do have another question about the one semester hour seminar in the Master's in Civil Engineering program. I know it's just a one semester hour credit course, but tell us just a teeny bit more about that.
So the seminar course is a course where we have the students, they see presentations, and we have our instructor has the students view presentations and see presentations, and then they also have assignments to do based on those presentations. And it is only one credit hour, and I think that most students find that it's not an incredibly demanding course, but I think most students find it to be beneficial.
Thank you. And then the other thing that often students ask on the phone, coming from a civil engineering background, undergrad background, and I have one other question after this, and then we can move on, but I did want to ask about this. As an undergrad, civil engineers do a lot of labs and coursework. Can you describe a little bit more about the difference of the work at the graduate level?
Yes. So, of course, obviously we don't have any labs, being an online program and being done entirely remotely. But so I think a lot of the differences between the master's level coursework and the undergraduate coursework is the master's coursework is more self-study. So there's a lot more responsibility put on the students to do the readings and study the content, and after studying the content, develop questions and contact their instructor with any questions that they might have. Where a lot, of course, in the undergraduate level, things are more instructor-led. So I think that's probably the primary difference.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Dr. Walsh, for walking us through the Master's in Civil Engineering program. Did have kind of a generalist question I thought I'd answer while we're in the answer section. One of our students is international and wondered if the GRE is necessary for international students. And, you know, it is based on several factors. In many cases, I always advise international students to speak with an advisor because your situations are often very different from, you know, just a common set of requirements. So sometimes it's great having a one-on-one conversation with an advisor just so we can learn more about how long you've been here working in the country, what your work experience has been, whether you're working for an international or an American company abroad. All of these things will weigh into whether or not you would need to take the GRE, and in many cases we'll do a pre-evaluation for you to help you determine whether or not you need to take the GRE or the language test, English language test, and GPA requirements and whatnot. So please reach out to your advisor so we can walk you through what your situation would be. All right, moving on to the next section of our presentation today, and that's the Master's in Electrical Engineering program, and Dr. Jeff Dill will be walking us through that.
Okay, thank you, Trish. Our MSCE program offers an advanced degree for electrical engineering professionals that want to specialize in one of 6 concentrations. So I should point out that I got my bachelor's in electrical engineering in 1979, so I've been working as an electrical engineer for 40 years. And over that time, what I've seen is that electrical engineering has expanded and diversified into a number of different directions based on electronics technology. So there are a lot of different specializations that are quite different from each other, and they're all under the umbrella of electrical engineering. Now, for our on-campus students, that at the master's level, what you usually do is specialize in a particular area, and that's your thesis. For the online program, we didn't want to require a thesis, so instead we came up with a way of, for our on-campus courses, to get a master's degree, you take 30 course hours of classwork, and then you do a thesis on top of that. For the online students, we've come up with 6 different concentrations, and you take 36 credit hours. So you take additional courses rather than doing the thesis. I should point out that all of the online courses have exactly the same content as our on-campus courses in electrical engineering. So you choose a concentration, and you take specialized courses in that concentration. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had an interruption here. So I got to get back on track. So you choose a concentration and you specialize in that area, but you also have the opportunity to take electives from some of the other concentrations. So let's go through the different concentrations that we offer. The first one is the concentration in autonomous unmanned vehicles. So in that concentration, it prepares you for work using drones. So you take courses in control theory, you take courses in navigation, you take courses in embedded systems and communications that are all necessary technologies to make an autonomous system work. Another concentration is communication and digital signal processing. Communications would include high-speed internet communications as well as wireless communications and wireless networks and cell phones and all of the underlying technology for that. digital signal processing is very widely applicable to, to many different industries, including things like military systems and radar, all the way to medical systems and imaging and MRIs, and how you process the data to do those kinds of things. Computer engineering covers the architecture of computers and computer systems, how to put components together, how to design chips and high-speed parallel processing systems or servers. We also have an electrical engineering concentration, which is really not a concentration. It's really more of a generalist. So you get some courses from all of the different specializations if you're interested in a more general background. Electronic navigation systems, we have a avionics engineering center on campus, which is sort of it's a center of excellence, and it's one of the top centers in the country in electronic navigation. We offer more different courses in electronic navigation than almost any other university, and it's a specialization that's growing and becoming more important for things like driverless cars, drones, military navigation systems, even things like precision agriculture, using GPS down to centimeter accuracy for spraying insecticides and fertilizer can really save millions of dollars to the agricultural industry. We also have a specialization in micro and nano devices, which covers things like chip design and chip fabrication and nano devices, nano sensors. A lot of emergent technology needs to be fabricated on a micro and nano scale, and so this specialization covers courses to do that. And again, what as we said before, you can complete the degree in 6 semesters if you take 2 courses per semester, or you can stretch it out over a longer period of time, or even take a semester off here and there, depending on your particular needs and your particular schedule. Most of our students take, the average is about 1.5 courses per semester. So half of our students take 1 course, half of them take 2 courses per semester. And that's it. Questions?
Hello, okay. Yeah, let's go to questions. Go ahead. Yes, please. Let's go ahead and look at some of the questions that have come in. Thank you, Dr. Dill. And we were just all kind of commenting about how flexible this master's degree is, and it's a wonderful thing for working professional. Many times engineers are working 40-plus hours, so having that flexibility built into your program is just, as they say, priceless. You really are able to use your time that you have, the pockets of time that you have within your weekly calendar to do your studies. Sometimes employers will even allow you to do some work at your workplace, but definitely that's the hugest thing about our engineering programs is the flexibility built in. But in any case, I did want to go over some of the questions that have come in from our students in the audience, and thank you for asking those questions. And another question from our international student online about the credit value for the master's, and I think that is something that we should talk through. I'm not sure if you're asking about your undergraduate degree and the number of credits you've taken. I know a lot of international schools, you're actually doing almost a 5-year program, versus a 4-year program in the States. But that's, again, another question that should be fielded one-on-one with an advisor, your enrollment advisor. One question is, one of the concentrations for masters in electrical engineering is, they're asking about power systems, and power is not one of the specializations that we offer, but I can have Dr. Dill talk a bit about this, but I know that we are able to transfer in up to 2 classes or 6 credits if you did want to take power engineering courses, you would be able to do that, and then possibly transfer them into our program. Dr. Dill, do you have more to say about that?
Yeah, just like I said, or like Trish said, power systems is not one of the concentrations we offer here for a variety of reasons. We don't have the resources or the faculty to offer extensive graduate work in power systems. But we've had a few students in the past who were enrolled in our online program, and they were interested in power systems, so they found a couple of courses at a local university that, at the graduate level that they took, and then we allowed them as transfer credits into our program to count toward the degree.
Okay, great. And then this is also on electrical engineering. The individual is interested in sensors, data acquisition systems, and embedded systems. Which concentration should I take? He's asking, or she's asking.
Yeah, communications and digital signal processing would be the best concentration for that, but we actually have an embedded systems course that is required for almost all of the concentrations, and within reason, you can sort of tailor your program and pick and choose different electives, and if you make a case, we can approve a more specialized program for your particular needs. So the first choice would probably be communications and digital signal processing, but it could fit the other concentrations as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. Here's a general question for all programs. What is the timeline in general for application, acceptance, and then attendance? So I always tell students to apply early if possible. Our terms are fall, spring, and summer. Working on spring right now. The deadline for, I'm going to be general here, but we can also talk more about this on the phone, advisors to students, but we're looking at the second week of December for our application deadline for classes that would begin the second week of January, and that's typical for our January term, but I always encourage students to get things in early November if possible before the winter holidays. Summer starts in May, so you want to have everything into us at least a month before that, and optimal would be about 2 months ahead of that. So we would be looking at March, and then classes beginning the second week of May. And then for fall semester, we are looking at people starting the last week of August, and the application deadline usually falls about a month before that, the end of July. But again, it would be optimal to get things in the very last part of June or early July if possible. And then another electrical engineering question, which of the specializations has the highest enrollment for electrical engineering? I'm just guessing here, but perhaps you can back me up on this, Dr. Doe. I believe it's the generalist electrical engineering specialty. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's fairly high because a lot of students aren't really sure what they want to specialize in when they start, so they sign up for that specialty and go that way. Probably the second highest is the electronic navigation systems, and again, that's because Ohio University is a real center of excellence for electronic navigation.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that we hear a lot about and a lot of interest in that specialization. I had a student who's asking about the cost of the program, and I'll just talk a little general here because there's a different cost differential for each of the programs. But on the whole, most of the classes are going to be around $2,500 a piece, you know, give or take a little bit, and we'll have specific tuition and fee schedule information that your advisors can share with you. But it's ranging right around $30,000, maybe a teeny bit more for some programs and a little bit less for others in the engineering suite of programs. But it's one of the more affordable options in the marketplace for an online master's program. I hope that answered that question. And then I am looking at a student who has a master's in mathematics and asking about how to get credit for previous mathematics courses. What it would account towards is just your prerequisites that are required for the program. If you use those credits towards one degree program, they cannot be recounted for a second. But when we're looking at requirements for the program, all three of our engineering programs do have math requirements, and they're specific to each, you know, program, and that again is something that an enrollment advisor can share what those prerequisite requirements are. So I think we've made our way through all the questions, and I do want to thank all of our participants for joining today. I know at the beginning of the presentation there's a way for you to share the presentation with friends or colleagues. Please go ahead and do so if you can. It's always nice to go through the program with a colleague locally where you can have a smaller study group within your organization, or perhaps people you went to undergrad college with. If someone is interested in the same type of electrical or engineering management courses or civil engineering courses that you're interested in, please do share the information with them. We always get our best students from our referrals. And then thank you also for our faculty members for taking us through the programs and, you know, sharing the program details with us, because it's definitely going to help our students in making a great decision about what program to choose going forward in their career choices. So thanks again, and we hope to have a copy of this out to all of you in the next few hours. Everyone have a great day.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.